Yu-Gi-Oh! Is finally bringing full arts to the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. Yes, not Rush Duel, the actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game that we all love and play. What does it mean for the game? Well, a lot of really good things, but possibly some bad things as well. Let's talk about it. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Just officially announced that full art, or rather extended art cards, are going to be coming to the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG and OCG pretty soon, presumably. Now, what does it all mean? Is it all good for players and collectors? And what are the actual implications? Possibly, how is it even going to look like? So this is all we're going to talk about today. The pros and cons and why you should be excited and maybe why you shouldn't be excited, depending on what type of player you are. Now, let's begin by maybe speculating a bit, because I've been doing these on Twitter for a long time. If you're not following me there, please make sure to do that, because you can get some access to really cool content that I post there. Basically, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has announced, and we'll look at the posts in a second, that cards that extend beyond the card frame are going to be coming to the Yu-Gi-Oh! OCG, and then the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG has announced that as well. And we are starting to see some parallels between the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG and OCG, where the new Chronicles structure deck actually released or is releasing simultaneously in the TCG and OCG, which is basically unheard of in a very, very long time. Products coming out, usually they come out first in the OCG, then a few months later they come into the TCG, but yeah. This is, and we'll look at a few other examples in the rest of the video as well, but this is a possible example of that. And also, not only cards that extend beyond the card artwork or full art or extended arts, they also mentioned that serialized cards are also going to be coming to the game. And this is huge and very, very important. You can see this here where I mocked up how that might look like. Now, this is the official post. It doesn't really say anything besides the fact that they say, have you seen the news that cards with artwork extending beyond the art frame are coming? These will also be available for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. Details coming soon. Now, there also has been a post from the OCG that mentioned serialized cards, which means that they're going to be like Magic the Gathering does for a long time now, cards that are basically 1 out of 1,000, for example, in the world, which are very, very rare. Now, recently, cards like QCR, Starlight Rares have become less and less desirable and rare. Once upon a time, before the quarter century celebration, you could pull a Starlight out of like 2 cases, right, which is 24 boxes. Now, you usually get one every couple of boxes. The new Starlights, the new QCRs, a lot of sets had them guaranteed. The tins, for example, have 1 Starlight per pack guaranteed. So that means there's no real chase, because they want to make it more accessible. So this is what they're going to do with the new full arts and with the new serialized cards that are going to be like, for example, 1 in 100 in the world, 1 in 1,000 in the world. How incredibly rare that is. And that definitely gets people into opening cards and opening packs, which is good for the game. Now, again, a lot of other card games have been doing this for a long, long time. Basically, every other card game besides Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been doing that. And a lot of people are saying that the original look and the original feel of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards that have been basically the same exact cards for 25 years, people love them, right? I personally love them as well. I don't know if we need full arts, but maybe for collectors and maybe for you guys watching at home, this is something that is really, really desirable. So I think there is a good place for that. So yeah, Pokemon have been doing that for a while. If you play the Yu-Gi-Oh! The Pokemon trading card game Pocket, you have a lot of them. And yeah, these are good looking cards, right? You can't deny that this is like much more exciting to pull. Maybe like a different full art version of an existing card. So it's basically kind of following the OCG rarity model in a different sense, where in the OCG, for example, a lot of cards in main sets or other sets as well come in lower rarities and then in higher chase rarities, so that everybody can enjoy what they want at different price points. Magic the Gathering has been doing that as well for years. They also changed a lot of the card structures, right? You have these saga cards and stuff like that, which are pretty cool. And House of Champs also mentioned, which is very interesting to me, that whole removing or breaking the frame is disrespectful to Kazuki Takahashi, who is the original creator and illustrator of the card game. argument seems weird, considering that many of his printed Yu-Gi-Oh card arts, these are exclusive Kazuki Takahashi arts with Kazuki Takahashi's autograph on them, actually remove the card frame. And that is true. They do remove the card frame. There is no regular card frame. It doesn't really extend the card frame as much as I think Yu-Gi-Oh is intending to do right now. But in a sense, this doesn't necessarily have to be so controversial. Possibly if Kazuki Takahashi was alive today, maybe this is something that he would have considered doing to move the game forward. And again, to give people a little bit more desirable pulls from their packs. So we can speculate all we want. It's probably going to look something in between these. I've done these. I know a lot of people don't like them as well, which is absolutely fine. I did these before the Effect Veilers and the Card Trooper and the new promos that have the YCS logos on them were announced. So essentially predicting these two things in this exact post, where Konami needs to move on and kind of tie up to the competition that they have today. Before One Piece TCG and Lorcana, Konami and Yu-Gi-Oh had less competition in the trading card game sphere, right? You have Magic, which is like very specific. You have Pokemon, which is more of a collectible card game, but also a competitive card game. And then you had Yu-Gi-Oh, which was very, very straight, right? With Magic having collaborations with SpongeBob and Spider-Man. Yu-Gi-Oh has always remained the same. And kind of like the one time they tried to change how the cards looked was Pendulum Monsters. And we all know how that went, where people hated the cards, hated the mechanic, and Konami is actually kind of ignoring the fact that this mechanic even exists in Yu-Gi-Oh, which is hilarious to me. So there are a lot of good things here. Collectability. People will have a lot of reasons now to open packs because, one, you can get a rarity and a look upgrade for a card that is already in the set. Presumably, this is what they're going to do. And this is great, right? Opening packs for a chance to open a full art or a serialized card is basically the same chase as you would have done with Starlights and Collector's Rares, which are still probably going to be around, but this is an additional bonus. And if Yu-Gi-Oh is seeing and Konami is seeing that sales are dropping and vendors are having a hard time selling sets, this is a really, really spot-on solution to do that. So I think overall this could be a good change. I think that a lot of purists and old heads like myself, I do like this proposal. I don't really mind it. It doesn't really matter as a competitive player, but for collectors, I think this is great. A lot of other players are going to say, this is probably breaking the sanctity of the cards that we all love. And I do agree the design of Yu-Gi-Oh cards is definitely timeless, but we'll have to wait and see what actually happens. And I'm actually really excited about this change because now we're going to have maybe some more high rarity branded cards. But in general, like if you like high rarities, these are going to be very, very desirable. I really want to hear your thoughts and comments below, so make sure to leave those down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.